It's the Cable
No obvious errors that match, though, for sure. Well, he did just do white aggro stuff. I might just take a damn Metamorph. The hand's definitely pointing me in like a Boros-y direction. Or the pack, rather. You could take a fetch and just try to be green landfall, but again, we just kind of did something in that vein. Yeah, would have gone fetch into Mole Man and aimed towards a different sort of green deck. Probably supposed to grab that Mana Leak. Stupid One Ring. Yeah, the One Ring was beatable. We just needed to get the Parallax Wave down a turn sooner. The Toxic Deluge was also necessary, right? Our board was so good at that point. Okay, grab a little Tez here. Seems to be the sort of deck I'm angling for. Do I have water? I do not. Might take a break. I've been like an engineer. You do move into 3 colors. But engineer finding sort of the meek is kind of cute with Thopter Foundry. Tutor right to the graveyard. Thinking about expressive iteration. Shieldred's interesting. Is that Shieldred late? No, I think 5th pick is around the right range. 5th to 7th pick. I do think Shieldred's one of the better cards in the pack, for sure. I wasn't planning on drafting a bunch of draw 7s is the issue with adding her in here. I'm going to take the expressive. The Marsh Flats might help with the Thopter Foundry splash, but I'm going to grab Dak. Is Shieldred or Orcs higher? Pack 1, pick 1. I think Orcs win rate is hard to argue with. 2 mana card versus 4 mana card. I used to have them very close. Yeah, after I'm done with the draft here, I'm going to do a quick water break. Man, Mole Man's still going around. Soul Cauldron plays really well if you get both Goblins, Engineer, and Welder. I haven't seen a Thought Scour cast in a while. It seems like a pet card, one of the cube curators. You don't know what we're doing? Well, Tez says artifact stuff, Engineer says artifact stuff. Probably some artifact stuff. Yeah, so if I'd gone in on Grixis and grabbed that Shieldred, I would have been really ecstatic about this Wheel of Fortune. I'm going to grab Fable, I think. There's a reason the Welder decks in Legacy play Fable. Spits out a bunch of artifacts to sang, gives you some nice selection, bins things to bring back later. The Soul Guide Lantern is also pickable here for sure. Don't hate the Aether Spellbomb. Kind of like the Spire Bluff Canal. This Talisman's on color, right? Yeah. Hey, give me this thing. Yeah, I really like the top as an artifact to loop in these Welder decks, but Engineer for sort of the meek is kind of what we're doing here. Spec on Candelabra. It's okay with Brainstorm. Thought Scour? Yeah, there's a lot of cards that are good with Brainstorm. So Pinnacle Emissary, you actually want a bunch of like zeros, and we just don't have that. I'm gonna grab Arena of Glory. I think Arena of Glory is actually very good if you're trying to play red activated abilities. Not just an aggro card. Is this so free too? Having the mana base. How far away from a PO deck are we? I think we're pretty far away. We have no wizards for that Flame of Anor. Don't really want this talisman. Awkward pack. FOMO is looting for our engineer stuff, but we have a lot of that already. Maybe I'm just supposed to grab this for Fiend's Tower to help splash the Thopter Foundry. I guess talisman helps with that. You think Anger should be Avalanche Rider? I think those cards are very similarly underpowered. Angry does have the issue of like being relatively free haste, but if you're playing a deck with enough mountains to have it on consistently, and a lot of your creatures should have haste naturally already. Canal came back, nice. I have no idea what you're arguing, disgruntled gamer. You're saying that Avalanche Riders is unplayable? How often do you play Anger? Very good chance that the Welder would wheel, but I don't really need any of this other stuff. Mystical Tutor is almost interesting. We kind of just have a couple draw spells for it. Yeah, largely pack 2 is pretty weak for us. We did complete the Thopter Sword combo, I guess. Hey. Yeah, Surveillance Cam and Welder is the combo. Currently, we don't have a ton to loop with it. This Retrofitter is very good with this Tez, so that's nice. I think now that we have Welder and Engineer, we play the Soul Cauldron. Maybe play that Krang too. Last time I was wielding around, I was playing a bit of Mightstone, Weakstone, a bit of Chariot, and they were both sweet. Play in your deck, disgruntled gamer. Play in your fucking deck. It's fine. I don't really want to have this conversation. I don't want to quibble about which unplayable is less playable. It's the opposite of interesting to me. Tedious. Yeah, I want some more good things to weld into play, but I think I do need a little bit more fixing for that Thopter Foundry. Hey. This is a very sick pack for me. There's Faithful Suiting, Kappa Cannoneer, and Phyrexian Dragon Engine. Dragon Engine being one of the better things to grab with Engineer, because even if they answer the Engineer, you can still draw your 3 cards. And it's quite a good one to loot in and out to play, right? And 3 cards with each. It's like an Ancestral Recall every time you weld it in. I'm going to grab the Kappa Cannoneer and hopefully wheel one of them. Don't love Gadgeteer here. Oh man, what about Wishclaw Talisman? Is this card secretly the sauce? We can like activate it and sack it with the activation on the stack, right? I was gonna grab Fractured Identity here, because that's just like a good card. Yeah, we have Engineer, Goblin Welder, and Thopter Foundry that can cash in the Wishclaw Talisman. And then with the Tutor here, it might help me put together Welder and the Cam. Do I want that Zander's Lounge? I guess I do. Pretty mid on this pack. So what are our infinites with the surveillance cam? Creativity gives me infinite mana. We get infinite Kappa Cannoneer triggers. Metamorph could win with a lot of stuff. Yeah, I was surprised to have no Dragon Engine wheel. I wish I'd grabbed another talisman or two. This is cast, right? Yeah. Chariot's infinite 2/2s. That's something. Yeah, this deck really just needed a Mox or two, huh? That would have not only upped our power level tremendously, it also would have given us like a lot more to combo with. Thinking about putting the Fury in the sideboard. Yeah, I didn't even get a Mox Opal, huh? Chrome Mox would have been pretty mediocre here. Opal would have been much better. Is this enough blue? 9? 9 feels like enough. Okay. Oh, we get one more land. Nice. I think taking 3 is reasonable. I think taking 5 is a bit much. In terms of looking at 5 cards and getting a card from it. It starts to become a bit too much selection. The post-combat gut, sure. I guess if you don't want to sack something, you want to sack something. Really want to get this Soul Cauldron down so they don't reanimate something against me, but I'll give it another turn, I guess. Yep. Yeah, somebody else mentioned the new King Gizzard single. Let's look that up. Different style rhythm section than they usually have. This is very like drum machiney. Should you see them next month? Oh, every month, snap. Yeah, this is what's referred to as drum and bass, right? Not too surprising. I mean, they put out a synthwave album. Oh man, if I got Welder going and I metamorphed the Twilight Diviner, time to grow that Baragoi thumb. This is Colgan's command. That'd be kind of a blowout. Maybe I'm supposed to Fury that Diviner. If we kill the Baragoi, then they reanimate the Baragoi for kind of a rough spot. Yeah, they're definitely offering a trade. Oh, shit. I'll still take the trade. Don't do it. Don't do it, opponent. Shieldred, okay. I think the engineer just goes and finds Sword of the Mink. I don't think we get too fancy with it. One Sword of the Mink. One Fable. And one Pass the Turn. You see why the Shieldred is more of a concern to me than the Baragoi. If we can jump the Baragoi for a while, well, the Shieldred was gonna deny me draws at some point. This will actually bring my Sword of the Mink back. Kind of cute. Activating Wishclaw and getting Thopter Foundry is borderline good enough if you had another Black Source, but we super don't. I wonder if they took my fucking Dragon Engine. Oh, we just have it. Sure. Next turn we can play Wishclaw Talisman, activate it, and then sack it with the activation on the stack. Very excited about that idea. You can't block sack here. Thopter Foundry doesn't let you sack tokens to itself. It's not the 2-mana shock thing that sacks for 3/3s. That one you can block sack. I'm kind of surprised they don't want to trade the Dragon Engine. Holding control. Oh man, we can keep doing it with the Wish Claw. Wait, does that give me a win? This is Infinite Cats. Opponent's at 48, so like I think I should actually make a lot of cats. What would y'all cut for the end game? I like Anger better than Phoenix in this deck. Phoenix is like way better in most decks. I like Arena of Glory better in every deck. How much damage we got here? So 20 of these should be 40 damage. So I'll do like 4 more loops. And we can't activate on their turn to tap down the Baraglyph. It's not bad though. Because the Goblin Welder will have Summoning Sickness on their turn. Continue loop with Foundry? What are you what are you suggesting with continue loop with Foundry? You're skipping over some steps here. You know, just continue loop with Foundry. Hell yeah, Emily. Morning. Yeah, we're gonna get back retro here. I like getting back Metamorph to copy the Phyrexian, but we're gonna get back retro so we can like block sack and make the Baraglyph attack worthless. I guess I can do both of them. Oh shit, what up? Hey Squid Squad, thanks for the sub, thanks for the 76 months. Can I tap a blue artifact for this improvise? No, improvise is always tapping for colorless. Okay. Grab Kappa before the loop. I mean, I still could grab Kappa, right? So it would involve welding out this for the Valence Cam and then welding it back into play. I would choose to discard again. Cannoneer is going in the graveyard, and then Welder would bring the Cannoneer back into play. And then you could sack a couple more Thopters, bring back Metamorph, copy Cannoneer, and do your loop with the Chariot some more. And have two, like, 500s or whatever. Very convoluted. Very glad I didn't see that line. This is too much. What to put back, huh? I think it would have been the Soul Cauldron. Well, yeah. When I'm drafting, am I seeing these combos? So when I was drafting, I don't have the deck there. When I was drafting this particular deck, I was looking at Sewer Valence Cam, Goblin Welder, because I've done a lot of winning with that. Well, not a lot of winning. I've done some winning with that recently. It's very sweet and busted and such. And so then I'm also thinking about Soul Cauldron to be like backup Goblin Welders and that sort of thing. When I was looking at the deck, I was a little concerned about our lack of mana rocks to make infinite mana. We just have the one talisman. So I was looking at Chariot for the infinite cat combos, and I was looking at Metamorph potentially giving me something. And I was looking at the Cannoneer being very large. I wasn't thinking about the likelihood of Metamorph getting the infinite mana, though, for my opponent's mana rocks. Yeah, I was going to get some water. I never did. Fucking thirsty. Yeah, Thopter Foundry was sort of the Meek in the Graveyard is good, but it's not actually the combo yet. We still need to have another artifact to sack to the Thopter Foundry. So right now we're just like jamming stuff, developing our board. Hopefully getting the opponent to expend some resources. And if they let the Emery resolve, then the Thopter Foundry would be essentially uncounterable, because you could just tap the Emery to rebuy it, of course. Oh, they got so much mana open. Wow. Pretty into all that. Concerning. Do we ult Tez? Oops. Chain of Smog. Might have smogged out. Yeah, they gonna get there. Witherbloom Duder. Murder me real good. Fair enough. I don't think there's anything Tez could grab that would stop that. Spellbomb. Spellbomb could stop that. Now that I'm aware of it. Blade Blast fireballs and out. Okie dokie. Oh, I want this out. Yeah, I'll cut that and leave Minskin. Trying to figure out the odds. I'll have Dole Mountain for Fire Blast. Right, Mike. They just wouldn't go for the combo if you had the Spell Bomb out, right? Someone's got a better deck than me. You got it. EOT 4 mana. Kind of trying to dodge for a turn or two here. The Tez could find the Spell Bomb, but currently I don't have the mana to go Tez plus find Spell Bomb plus run it out. Force of Will in the bin. Yeah. Vicious Rivalry. Well, that's annoying as shit. Yeah, they left it on top. But then they're running Talisman out into their Vicious Rivalry? I don't get it. Annoying. Okay. So they have 3 in hand. They just drew this Vicious Rivalry. I think they intend to play it for 2. Clear my board. That's why I was confused that they ran out the Talisman last turn. Maybe they had plans for their mana, though. Europe, I'm doing well. I am. Thanks, Shababa. Hope you are, too. Yeah, just rebuying the cam and fucking drawing 2 is better than my turn. I didn't know they had remanded to lose focus for the Tez, of course. Because we could have been still ulting that Tez, and the Vicious Rivalry doesn't hit Tez. Hello. I think we sandbag this Welder. Playing it out now means it doesn't get countered, but they clearly have some sorcery speed interaction. The issue with running it out now is we just don't have a artifact to sack, right? I wonder what they've amped for. Do they have their combo? Looks like it. Well, poop hum. Yeah, I was looking forward to looting away the Krang and the island next turn, drawing 2, getting in with the Goblin, get that artifact, getting a hasty welder, getting the Krang bank, you know, doing good stuff. I mean, with the surveillance cam in the graveyard and a hasty welder, we were just missing an artifact here, right? Because then the welder gets to go infinite, and then you get infinite mana with the talisman. And once you have infinite mana, and you can rebuy the Thopter Foundry. Then you have infinite life. So if we got into that spot, I guess they would win because like the Goblin Welder doesn't have haste on the opponent's turn. We wouldn't have haste. We wouldn't have infinite mana on their turn. So however high I made my life with the Welder combo, they'd be able to go higher. And the Krang only deals 9 damage. I guess the Cam lets me draw my deck though, doesn't it? Well, anyway, where my next draw is gonna be. Dak Wishclaw, yeah. We're gonna have some kind of a win next turn. Damn. Turn 1, Hell Baby. This would be a sick opener if we had red mana. We don't. I think I'm into it. I'm hemming and hawing about what to put back. I don't think you've been the Retrofitter because you want something to do on turn 1, and I think you're keeping this Engineer. Pyromancer's a pretty good one for making up for mulligans, and like these artifacts are all gas to bin. Gotta been something though. I'm gonna bin the Talisman. It's sick to like weld out Talisman in response to activating it, but Metamorph just like comes in as a thing, you know. I might just copy Pyromancer and be awesome. PCP. I've never tried PCP. And I won't say that I would never take PCP, but if I did ever try it, I would make sure that I did it while operating heavy machinery. Just gonna grab that Sword of the Meek. Deck's been pretty good at getting that together. With the Engineer Tutor working out pretty well. Ketamine. I have also never tried ketamine. I've known a lot of people who've tried ketamine though, including several people that were prescribed it, and it doesn't seem like something I want to fuck with. Yeah, over the years, Sastifer. I've heard that, Mark. I've also known ravers to mix E with acid. Shababa lives in New Mexico and loves shrooms. What a coincidence, Shababa. I live in Wisconsin and love shrooms. What a world. Kind of forgot that Metamorph was going to be too large to engineer back in. You were just in the Apostle Islands for the 4th? Oh, yeah, that's right, where I grew up. You're right, it's a gorgeous area. Not a lot to do up there as a child growing up, unless you're, like, again, really into the outdoors, but no place is perfect. Perfect. More like a 4-for-1, am I right? Gonna be the old block sack here. So I'm probably going to engineer that talisman out at least. Kind of like the idea of getting the seasoned pyromancer into the graveyard. Then I could metamorph their metamorph and get back the pyromancer and draw 2. That all assumes that the Emery is living. Raid, raid, raid. Hey, that slime, thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream. What were you jamming? Anything sick? Fair enough. Some competitive Brawl, nice. I've been meaning to play some Brawl after all the bans and such. Our games have been sweet. I've been really enjoying this cube the last few days. Oh, that's cute. I don't think we can quite win off that. Oh, we've got Engineer. Yeah, I'm not sure if we have enough mana. Let's find out, huh? Let's find out. Oh, we only have the one black source again. Yeah, it doesn't quite work, does it? I can metamorph the Wishclaw. It costs mana to activate multiple times, though. So what I'm thinking about right here is activating Wishclaw and then sacking it and then rebuying it and activating, that sort of thing. Welding out with Engineer. And the idea would be to get a hasty Goblin Welder going. But maybe I'm just supposed to get a Minsc and Boo and enjoy myself. Or maybe I'm supposed to keep on making thup-thups. Yeah, Urborg gives black mana, but I think it's still just not enough. Not enough to do it all anyway. One thing about only making one Kappa Cannoneer is that a few Thopter activations make it kind of difficult to toxic for the full amount. Because every single 1 mana you put into activating Thopter gives you 2 Kappa Cannoneer triggers. So I kind of regret bringing back the Metamorph. I don't think it was right. The Brain Freeze in the graveyard is concerning, huh? Hope I didn't give my opponent just enough time to win the old game with Yogg's Will. Oh shit, what up? Hey, Jin92, thanks for the sob, thanks for 28 months. Oh, there's a red source if they're breaching. 2 black mana. Hey, Sapko lands. Oh, they're toxicking for 6? Not quite enough. How's Cube been going? It's been sweet. Games in there. Did we get a trophy earlier? I don't remember. Yeah, there's one, right? Didn't green-white trophy? And even if they weren't at 7, you know, I think if they're at 15, the Copy Cannoneer kills them from that spot. A little concerned about that brain freeze, huh? That brain freeze has me a little concerned. I don't really have a way to stop it. We're not playing like counters and stuff. We're kind of just trying to do our own combo. It was not Shiflin. Oh yeah. No, that deck lost, right? Because of the we lost that one match to the One Ring. That deck went 2-1. What deck did I trophy with? I could have sworn I trophied. I remember the finals opponent didn't put a bunch of resistance. The current score is 1-0, and we are in the 3rd match. We are 1-1 in matches, playing for 2-1 here. Dropped a match to Witherbloom combo. Just slightly faster than my draws. And I missed a win in one of the games. Didn't feel good. I'm going to respond to the recall with recall again because it's fun for me. Magic's not about fun? Maybe not the way you play it. So it's tempting to discard Sword of the Meek because you can get it back with a Thopter Foundry, but then I would have to like play the Talisman and sack the Talisman, which is the same as just playing the damn sword. So I'm actually going to discard Krang here. If you have a cheaper artifact than Sword, then that's a fine line. If you got like a 0-drop or something, then that's a clean way to get the ball rolling faster. But I don't have something like that handy, so getting the Krang. Yeah, maybe Welder will get that back later. Oh, another reason to potentially discard the sword is if you think the opponent might have force negation. Would be a clever way to get around that. Oh, don't make me choose, Triflin. Don't make me choose. Uh-oh. So they're brain freezing to juice the pot a little bit here. Okay, they milled the Underworld Breach. Hopefully they're not also a Yogg's Will deck or whatever. Hopefully that's just the... yeah. All right, let's draft again, huh? Yeah, what deck did Trophy? I don't remember him. One of them.